straight down.
Hello and welcome back to another video from Combat Fusion Martial Arts. This time we're looking at the technique Captured Leaves. So this technique is for a finger lock. The attack is from the rear by a single opponent. We'll be looking at the different types of locks to the hand, the more common one used and the rarer ones you see when we're using single hand over double hand. We'll also take a look at directional harmony and some of the methods we can employ during the foot maneuvers to destabilize our opponent's structure. So we're going to take a look at it as usual without a partner, then get into the breakdown and then look at some variations. So let's get into Captured Leaves. The attack for Captured Leaves takes the form of a finger lock, applied in a walk-up manner which approaches from the rear. The actual finger lock itself is commonly applied in a two-handed manner. However, the technique should be practiced from the many single-handed variations which are just as likely to be encountered. The name of this technique comes from the finger lock itself. Your opponent's hand grasps or captures your fingers. The Kenpo term for fingers is leaf, hence the name Captured Leaves. In the ideal phase, when your opponent attacks, he is stepping forward as he applies the finger lock. To aid in preventing your opponent leading you via the finger lock, step across his path of travel into a neutral bow, using the step to impede his progress. Please note, this is nothing more than a delaying tactic. As you step into your opponent's path of travel, execute an upward elbow type maneuver with the arm of the hand receiving the finger lock, whilst your free hand positionally checks at your opponent's grasping hand. This will provide temporary pain relief whilst allowing your body to rotate with directional harmony into the first strike. On planting your foot into the neutral bow, pivot into a horse stance, delivering a back elbow to your opponent's kidney as you settle. Your opponent reacts to the first elbow strike by moving away from the pain. This presents his ribs thrust forward and under tension. Immediately re-pivot back into the neutral bow, taking advantage of this reaction to deliver another back elbow, this time with the elbow of your locked arm to your opponent's ribcage. As you make this maneuver, have your free hand grab the wrist of your opponent's attacking arm. By ensuring your opponent's arm is rotated with his elbow against your shoulder, you may lever down on his wrist as you deliver the second back elbow, creating an arm bar using your shoulder as the fulcrum. If applying the arm bar, ensure you maintain your structure. Avoid lowering your height as this will nullify the effect of the arm bar. We will now proceed on to the extension to Captured Leaves. If you do not require this at your stage of training, you may wish to bypass the next section of this video. Following on from the second back elbow, have your lead foot slide backwards into a reverse bow, sweeping your opponent's leg in the process. From the reverse bow, execute a front crossover and step out, buckling your opponent's lead leg from the inside. Ensure you expand into and through his space. Do not accommodate your opponent by short-circuiting your own foot maneuver. It may be advantageous to push your opponent backwards, thereby causing him to stumble into a position of discomfort. You may also wish to utilize the front crossover to attack your opponent's leg, thereby destabilizing his base before stepping out into the buckle. After your opponent has been sent to the floor, his legs should be towards you. front crossover stomp to your opponent's knee. After the stomp kick, leap off to the outside of your opponent's leg and follow through with a side kick to his groin. Following on from the side kick to his groin, plant your kicking leg next to your partner's hip and in a step drag manner deliver a side kick to his head. If you have a training partner who does not utilize assumption of injury and does not react appropriately to the strikes, then the technique ideal phase will fit comfortably. However, if your training partner gives an appropriate reaction to the groin strike, this will require a deletion of the final step drag foot maneuver before the side kick to his head. From here, front crossover and cover out. And welcome back. So now we're going to take a look at 5 variations. These will range from utilizing standard Kenpo techniques as change-up methodologies. We'll also be using methods that have no relation to captured leaves whatsoever. We'll be looking at how to utilize our foot maneuvers in an offensive manner and also to compound the movement of destabilizing our opponent's structure. So let's get in and have a look at the variations. It is nothing more than common sense to say if we have a chance to finish a technique early, we should capitalize upon it. So if the first strike is effective as we would like it to be, our opponent may release the finger lock. In this case, we could keep rotating until we are at the rear where we can execute a number of techniques. Here we have utilized the technique kneel of compulsion. Now, of course, like any technique in the Kenpo syllabus, nothing is set in stone. Many people forget a technique is simply a learning point of origin, from where a multitude of variations can stem. Here we do not even contemplate the technique captured leaves, but simply move with the direction of the finger lock to apply a wrist lock takedown. Staying with the previous theme of nothing being set in stone, here we have the first strike miss the target continuing through to provide a sweeping takedown, not unlike a version of the sleeper. This just happens to be performed off of the opposite side. One of the more common issues I see when executing the sweeping part of the extension is your training partner's head dropping lower than expected. This is one reason students tend to accommodate, because they feel constricted by their partner's position. This is blocking their transit through to the takedown. However, this is also an opportunity to experience an insert. By proceeding on through with the front crossover, but utilizing the knee as a strike to the head in the process. This not only helps incapacitate our opponent, it also opens the route through to the takedown. Now, if we hark back to the breakdown of captured leaves and the pushing of our opponent, who then stumbles into a position of discomfort, we have the opportunity to compound this action with a sweep. Instead of just driving through our opponent's structure with the push, we can immediately take advantage of his poor position and reverse the direction of our step, sweeping his leg towards us, causing him to fall backwards to the floor. We then, of course, could, if we wished, execute the extension in its standard format. Well, thank you once again for joining us here on one of our P.O.D videos from Combat Fusion Martial Arts. Remember, the information in our videos are just our points of view on how we like to look at the techniques. They're not, as I said in the video, set in stone. If you've got any requests you'd like us to try to do for you, please put them in the comments, along with any comments you've got on the videos. We do read them all and we do try to answer them all. Also, don't forget to give the video a like and a share, and if you haven't done so, as usual, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the channel. It's free, so it's not going to cost you anything, but it helps us out a lot. So once again, thank you very much for joining us. This is Andy Seethan, Combat Fusion Martial Arts, saying good night.